weeknights at 7 on Fox 5.
Back here in Hollywood, California, along with Mike Modano, Dave Maloney, I'm James Brown, as we get set to take you around the NHL, starting first Chicago and Detroit. Belfort, nice job in goal.
Nice job in goal and made big saves early, kept him in the hockey game. Mike, this is why defensemen can't score, right?
That's right. Nicholas Lidstrom, great opportunity here in the crease. Belfort just sprawls over. Lidstrom couldn't get over his stick.
And this is Joe Murphy after watching a Mike Modano highlight film. He's going to go coast to coast for his 23rd. Fake, down goes Howe. Puck in the net. What a goal by Joel Murphy.
Boy, Belfort helping the Blackhawks to a surprising 3-goal lead after 2. St. Louis and San Jose. Brett Hull, what happened to that eye?
I don't know, but here he comes. He may have got bit by the old shark before the game, but that's the way Brett Hull. One-timer Steve Duchesne. Urban didn't get across in time, but a real good one-timer by Duchesne. Tansel, you played with him, Mike.
Tansel, former right winger of mine, actually, in Dallas. Couldn't find his niche, but playing well in San Jose.
And drives to the net, hard to the net. Jenny picks up a cheapie.
Curtis Joseph has found his niche, 15 saves. Blues lead it by 1 goal. Speaking of bad eyes, Eric Lindros leaves with an injury here. Take a look. Top right of your screen, slap shot by Lindros. Ricochets back under his left eye. He goes to the hospital for precautionary measures.
Guys in Montreal didn't want to see Lindros go down. Whack! There goes right there. Noonan pays the price. Late. Head up, Larmer. Where's Leach? There's Leach. Puck, goal. Rangers' first goal in the power play. Rangers playing well.
And Rangers without Messier leading by 2 that late in the second. Washington and Florida, that game is all tied at 1 after 2 periods of play. Pittsburgh and Boston, you like this guy coming up.
Who's the greatest guy that ever played at the Garden? Number 4. Oh, Bobby Orr, the best player that ever played. Same old song in Pittsburgh, though. Stevens, Francis, Jagger, goal. Ho hum. We're doing it again, the Pittsburgh Penguins. But in the meantime, off the left side. Now, I want you to pay attention to the puck. Bouncing. Now, where's Barrasso? Too far right, too far back in the net. Gets beat by a slapper, Tommy Barrasso. Puck comes from the corner. This is Bruins hockey, Mike.
Don Sweeney, coaches tell you, get in front of the goalie, put some screens up. That's what they do. Pucks in the net.
Never had a chance. Never saw it.
Dave Maloney said ho-hum, no ho-hum lead there by the Bruins, who hold for a 2-goal lead that after 2 periods of play. And, folks, when we come back to Hollywood, we'll take you through an updated look at the playoff picture east and west after this.
They say that man cannot live on bread alone. Fortunately, at Discover Card, we couldn't agree more. That's why we offer the Cashback Bonus Award. Each year, you'll receive money back based on your annual level of purchases. The more you use your card, the more you'll get back. And with over $500 million given out already, you're sure to get your fill. It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back, except where you see the Novus sign.
It's as far as Michelin science has ever gone. Our biggest breakthrough since we invented the radial. Technology that brings us to a new level of performance, in good weather and bad, in the rain, in the snow. Technology so advanced, it even saves gas. The new energy tires with Radial XSE technology from Michelin. It's science that goes beyond magic.
Dennis, you're just a little bit too tight, man. You need to loosen up.
Oh, man.
Be provocative. Don't be so conservative. Shake things up. Be shocking. Let your hair down.
Please, lay out the hair, okay?
Over the top, man. Be an individual.
So what do you want me to do?
Well, you can start by eating your pizza the wrong way. Crust first.
That's weird, man. That's too weird.
Introducing stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. With a ring of cheese baked into a totally new, thinner crust, you'll want to eat it the wrong way. Crust first.
Just turn it around.
Well, Dave, you crazy, man. You crazy.
Large, just $9.99.
When the game is on, if the action gets too rough, remember, the ice is always smooth. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, official beer sponsors of the NHL.
Kovalev's got it. Cross ice Leach. Moving to the New Jersey line. Drops it for Kovalev. Left circle. Slap shot. Save. Rebound. Score! Messier! Messier has cashed in the rebound. And the Rangers take a 3-2 lead.
No question that New York fans would love to see that scene again. But the question is, will Mark Messier, with his aching back and the Rangers, get a chance to repeat? Find out next week as the Stanley Cup playoffs come to Fox next Sunday and all the way through the finals. Playoff coverage begins at 3 Eastern. Now, I got to separate these two guys. They're going at it in playoff style already. If the season were to end today, playoffs are to start, these are the matchups in the East.
Well, these are the two top teams, record-wise, would be Quebec and Pittsburgh. Quebec's a little young. I don't think they're ready yet. You got to get it whacked around a little bit in Stanley Cup competition. Pittsburgh, my way of thinking, the most solid team at this time of the year. They may be a little bit old, but in the meantime, Pittsburgh very, very solid. Talk about a fellow center iceman, Eric Lindros, Mike.
Big guy, having a great year, MVP year. He's really carried this organization well for a long time coming, and he's the main guy. See what happens in playoffs.
We will, and Lindros has certainly played well. A team that could cause problems early in the Washington Caps. They seem to be on a roll, emotionally playing hard, playing low, down deep hockey. If they match up somewhere along the road against Quebec, they will give Quebec trouble. Bonder's not enough to score goals for Washington, but they will cause problems. The last team that lost in semifinals last year, New Jersey, Mike, how about them?
Well, they're too going to have some tough time scoring goals, but they play that trap system. They work from the net out, frustrate teams into making mistakes, and they capitalize. And they got some players that can do it. Picked up Neil Broughton at the trade deadline, and he's established himself as a premier center, and see what they can do in the playoffs.
Well, JB, if they had this guy scoring goals, they'd be parading the cup down the turnpike in New Jersey.
No doubt. Keep in mind that the NHL reseeds after the first round to ensure that the highest seed plays the lowest remaining seed. In the West, these would be the matchups.
Well, it looks like I've talked about Detroit now for about a month. The thing here with Detroit is I think they're the team that can beat themselves. That's it. But Stevie Yzerman is the guy that holds most regular season scoring records for the Red Wings. Character being a factor this time of the year. It's time for Steve Yzerman to pick it up. Can he do it or not? Maybe the difference for the Red Wings. But I want to tell you, you talk about character. I know St. Louis did an awful lot, but you don't think St. Louis is the same team they've traditionally been, right?
Not again. I mean, not this year. They've been having some tough time. Not as physical as they were last year. We were able to walk into St. Louis last year, beat them 4 straight, and they got rid of the key players that gave us fits in St. Louis when we go in there. Basson and the Sutter brothers and Lowry, and they played against our line, and they win the games. They'd scored 2-3 goals, and we wouldn't get anything. So, I mean, they got rid of them. We walked in there, beat 4 straight, but they picked up some players in the offseason, and Keenan too, so it's going to be a little bit different team now.
A little different look from St. Louis. The question is, what's wrong with the Canucks? Why haven't they taken last year's final loss against the Rangers and gone further? Pavel Bure, a little question there. Locker room leadership. Last team, I know you like them a lot, Mike. Calgary Flames.
Love the speed. Dave King likes that wide-open style, and they've got the players that can do it with Housley and Zalapsky on the point, and Reichel and Neuendijk and Fleury up front. I mean, they got some depth, and they got some character, too. I mean, they stepped it up last year, and they got a little bitter taste in their mouths from Vancouver last year, upsetting them 3 straight in overtime. So, I mean, they got some work to do, too.
Good. Should be fun, JB.
All right, Mike and Dave have used the word character a lot, and their definition of character is a player has to step up his level of play during the playoffs. Once again, a reminder, it's called the most exciting playoff in the world. It's the Stanley Cup playoffs, and you don't want to miss any of the action. It all begins next Sunday, 3 Eastern, right here on Fox. And, folks, we will continue with NHL Sunday right after this.
When the bear comes out of hibernation, motor skills are awkward. He is bad tempered. He hears little, sees less, but his sense of smell remains keen. The bear sniffs. The refreshing scent of Coast revives him. Massive lather engulfs him, after which he becomes friendly and playful and can learn to do tricks. Coast, the eye-opener.
Overall, it's the most powerful line of trucks on the planet. A line of trucks built by people who look at things a little differently. From the company that puts an airbag in every single one. A line of trucks that from one end to the other simply refuses to follow the rules. At America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
You know those people at Radio Shack? Those friendly, knowledgeable people you rely on? The people who help you figure it all out and explain how to hook things up and make them work? Those people who help you find your way through the maze of modern technology. Ever wondered how they get that way? They start young. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
How close are you to all the sports you'd ever want to see? With Prime Star. Closer than you think. Prime Star has all the action you're looking for, plus lots of other great programming, all with digital picture and sound. And since Prime Star is a service, there's no equipment to buy. And it all starts at about $1 a day. So if you love sports, call 1-800-PRIME-STAR.
You know, Linda's been my barber. Silent. For years.
Months.
And a while back, she told me.
Stop squirming.
No. She said I should do something about my flakes. I said, get a new barber? She said, get new Head and Shoulders. I said, you're serious? She said, yes. Now it has Micro D, which fights flakes better without stripping your hair of the oils it needs. So my hair feels no flakes. And I owe it all to my stylist.
New Head and Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes.
Al directs his first movie.
Action?
An all-new episode. Then the cast looks back at their funniest moments on My Favorite Married, a special hour tonight.
The Washington Capitals and Florida Panthers are all tied 1-1 as we get ready for the third period from the Miami Arena.
Inspired by true events.
You can stop it. You have the power to fight it.
The Possession of Michael Dean, a Fox World premiere, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central.
The Lexus GS 300 Touring Edition is designed to stimulate the senses. There are special wheels, special colors, and a moonroof for sight, a leather-trimmed interior for touch, and a compact displayer for hearing. What about the sense of taste? That always comes standard. Save $3,000 on the GS 300 Touring Edition while it lasts at your Lexus dealer.
Looking for a vacation with lots to do? The Virginia waterfront has all the sun and fun of Virginia Beach. More than 50 exciting rides and slides at Busch Gardens and Water Country USA. The colonial history of Williamsburg, Jamestown, and the Battle of Yorktown. And virtual reality unlike any you've ever experienced at Nauticus, the National Maritime Center in Norfolk. For your free guide to the Virginia waterfront, call 1-800-FUN-VA. All you have to do is pick up the phone. Will somebody please pick up the phone?
Dear car owners, when your suspension's going, you can feel it in your bones. Your car shakes, rattles, and rolls. The suspension experts at Midas can help. With Shake, Rattle, and Roll Control. You get 25% off your car's alignment, or 50% off your second shocker strut, or both. It's a deal that'll make things go a whole lot smoother for you. So hurry in today for 25% off alignment, or 50% off your second shocker strut, or both. That's the Midas way, the way it should be.
This is the 95 Pontiac Bonneville. Let's take a closer look. Wow! Check out the power windows and locks, cruise, air conditioning, dual airbags, and anti-lock brakes. Can you believe that right now you get all this with low 3.6% APR GMAC financing? Believe it. But you've got to buy it now. It's only for a limited time. So hurry and buy your Pontiac Bonneville with 3.6% financing today. It's as close as your Pontiac dealer.
Married with Children, weeknights at 11 on Fox 5.
Fox NHL Sunday is brought to you by the First Brands Corporation, makers of STP Son of a Gun Protectant. By Bud Ice, the official beer sponsor of the NHL. By Canon, a world leader in office equipment. And by Black & Decker Outdoor, because yard work shouldn't be.
Along with Mike Eruzione, Dick Stockton here in Miami Arena as the Panthers, who literally have to win and hope other people help. Coming out in a 1-1 score, and both goals coming in the second period, and the Panthers, who had only one shot on goal in the first period, scored first.
Well, here's on the power play. You're going to see just some good action in front of the net. You're going to see the shot come back, the rebound. Niedermeyer's going to shoot the puck. It hits the post. And then it's just who gets to the puck first. A lot of work, a lot of banging. And Bob Kadulski, you see him jumping around in the back. He was the one finally to get to it. That made the score 1-0 Panthers. Kadulski, his fifth goal. And as we said, on the power play, something we don't see too often from that team. And then Washington came back. Joey Juneau, well, he's a very, very clever hockey player, but he catches a break here. Juneau's going to go down the right side. He throws it out front. It gets deflected by Aikens. right there, deflected over to Jones. Jones picks up the deflection. He deflects it in, and it found its way through Van Beesbrook. Little bounce and a lucky bounce at that, but Jones capitalizing on it, putting it in his 13th goal. An assist from Juneau, and that's where we stand at 1-1.
And this game summary is brought to you by Bud Ice, and you see the shots on goal, still an edge for Washington. They are 0 for 3, the Capitals are on their power play.
Well, it's two teams we've talked about not having potent offenses, and I think we see that. Even the shots on goal, after two periods, only 9 for Florida and 12 for Washington. They're two very good defensive teams. They play the body real well. They capitalize on scoring chances, and they depend on their goaltenders to keep them in games. And right now, that's really what we're seeing. I think the game is being played the first period the way the Capitals wanted to play it, and in the second period, the way the Panthers wanted the game to go. But let's see what happens in the third. But again, two good defensive teams, and we're seeing that so far.
Season coming down to 20 minutes, perhaps, for the Florida Panthers. They know that the Rangers, if they win, will end their hopes in any event, and the Rangers lead 2-0. Brian Leetch with his 8th and 9th goals, leading Philadelphia 2-0. Mark Messier, of course, not playing because of injury, and Eric Lindros went out as well. So the Panthers worrying about their own game first, and there you see Strudlin and Hunter dropping gloves, or almost dropping gloves momentarily. A couple of old vets who know what it's all about. Meanwhile, for Washington, right now they are 6th in the Eastern Conference and have a shot at beating out Boston. It is a long shot, though it may be, and Boston is winning in their game right now. Right now, the Bruins are in 4th position.
Take a look at Dale Hunter. You're talking about him and Strudlin. Well, he is one tough hockey player, Dale Hunter. Kind of guy that you hate to play against and you want him on your team. Look at that, 15 seasons in the National Hockey League. One of 3 players to score 850 points and have 1,600 penalty minutes. Ted Lindsay and Gordie Howe, the other two. Not bad company.
Okay, missed from the point. The Caps have not missed the playoffs since Hunter was acquired from Quebec in '87. So you see the value he's been to this team, and now he's going after it along with Paul Laws. 1-1 to score, third period. Keeping it in is Rieke. Miller, Hunter out there up front, along with Berube, and Berube now pushing Paul Laws, who leads the Panthers in penalty minutes.
That's a couple of heavyweights right there.
That started in the previous period, just simmering now.
Laws 6'1", 220 pounds. Rieke 6'3", 215 pounds. You know what you don't want to be there is the official that has to step in the middle and break it up.
You know, Laws had 30 penalty minutes in a game against the Capitals earlier this year. That was on March the 16th.
This is what happened in the second period. Look at that. That was a George Foreman deke right there. Yeah, don't bother me. I got to play. I got a game to play.
Pavanka and Strudlin on the face-off, and it's fired in by Kalle Johansson. 1-1 to score, third period. Kept in that time by Ulanov, and now here come the Panthers. Here is Strudlin ahead, trying to get a pass from Mellanby. Can't get it to him, however. Mellanby and Strudlin sandwiching Bondra inside. Puck is still loose. And now we have a whistle.
Boy, so far in the first period, in the third period here, we've had 3 testy moments. Maybe players starting to feel some of the tension of the importance of this hockey game. Time running out on the Florida Panthers, and with Washington trying to catch the Boston Bruins and the Bruins leading, maybe there's a sense there that they're not going to be able to do that.
And the Capitals, whether they catch Boston or surpass New Jersey in 5th right now, the fact is they've won 4 of their last 5 games and are finishing on a high, and this is what they've got. The Capitals have a home game against the Panthers, and Florida has 2 road games against the Rangers and the Penguins. And so it's the Penguins and the Capitals in that final game. Both teams have to play Pittsburgh before it's over. It might see them along the way in the playoffs. Last year, the Caps defeated Pittsburgh in the first round before losing to the Rangers. Loose puck, Johnson and Klee for Washington. And they're going to try to freeze it, force another faceoff, but they won't do it. Jeff Smith drops it into the zone. Mellenby going after it. Down the board, Jim Johnson. Passes forward, and Smith is there for Florida. Kristich, Pavanka, and Vondra on there, and now they change their lines, as does the Florida Panthers.
It's funny to see how the pace of this game has changed dramatically since the first period. Right now, it's almost kind of a chess game. Nobody really trying to take control. Or the Capitals nowhere near as aggressive as they were when they started the game. It's almost as if each team is kind of lulling the other one to sleep a little, waiting for a scoring opportunity.
Belanger, Niedermeyer, and Hull out there for Florida. Junot tries a quick pass, a backhanded centering pass. Try to get it to Jones, screening Van Beesbrook, and he covers up. Jones was right in front of Van Beesbrook, and the Beezer again makes a tough play. He made 2 tough stops last period when he was screened.
And that's a nice play by Aikens after the shot was taken, staying on Jones and getting him away from any kind of a rebound. And Beesbrook had a hard time with the first shot. Kind of bounced off his chest. Difficult save for Van Beesbrook. But watch Aikens in front with Jones. Now see, the shot's going to be taken, and it's right on the chest of Van Beesbrook. Difficult for him to control that rebound, but Aikens doing a nice job. Right there, you can see it on Jones, not letting Jones get to the net.
Eagles, Kaminsky, and Berube line out there now for the Capitals. Kaminsky playing on that line today. Johansson and Ulanov on the back line for the Capitals. Bill Lindsay along with Niedermeyer. And the Belanger for Florida. Shot is wide by Ulanov. Berube trying to control it behind the net. Here's Magnus Svensson. And he clears it. And no icing. It's waved off. Nearly 3 minutes gone by here in the third period. 1-1 the score. Eagles crosses the blue line. Shot is deflected behind the net. Barnes around. Kaminsky tries to keep it in. He can't. Ulanov now to Kalle Johansson. Johansson with a shot. The glove save by Van Beesbrook. He saw it all the way and was there to make the play. Now Fitzgerald with a slap shot wide of the net. Fitzgerald chasing the shot. Now Kaminsky. Back now to Kristich. He's got Hunter with him. Hunter feeding Kristich, and offside is the call with 16:20 on the clock.
Dakota Sport V6 has more. More horsepower, more shoulder room, more hip room, and more cargo room than a comparable Ford Ranger or Chevy S10. But you don't have to put everything you've got into it. Dakota Sport V6. A little bigger, a lot better. At America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
Tonight, Bart visits the ER.
You're alive. No thanks to you, Homer. Why, you little...
On a brand new Simpsons tonight on Fox.
1-1 the score early here in the third period, and conference with Paul Stewart.
Florida looking for a penalty away from the whistle. I'm not sure who it was. Hit Tom Fitzgerald, / Fitzgerald. The linesman saw it, went over to Stewart and said something to him about it, but nothing was called. But it happened away from the play, and in a case like that, a linesman can say something to the official. You see Mellenby still talking about it now. Stewart not taking any of it.
Caps have won the first 5 face-offs of this period in 8 of the last 10. They've got a good man now in Dale Hunter, but this time the Panthers win the face-off, deflected by Strudlin into the zone. And icing is the call, and Joe Reiki and Mellenby, and let's see who's down there. And now Scrudlin has gone at it with Hunter.
We
They
knew that
started
was
earlier,
happen.
didn't they?
We knew that was going to happen. And now Mellenby.
Mellenby and Cote.
Oh, now glove comes off. So you got to take your glove off. If you're going to fight, take your glove off.
And that's what Mellenby has done. Cote has dropped his glove.
Yeah, notice Mellenby's got the right hand ready to go.
One hand.
And Cote, he's keeping his gloves on. He doesn't want to fight.
They're not done yet.
If I am Washington, I don't think I quite want to have a fight right now with the players I have on the ice. Bondra, Kristich, Cote, not known for their fighting.
And we're going to have some people going to the penalty box now. Scrudland and Hunter, among others. Let's see if there are any more.
A little action. This is the whistle now for the icing.
Reiki will go off as well. And there should be another Panther.
So Scrudland and
Mellenby will go off too.
Well, the way the period started, Dick, it looked like that there could be an altercation at some point. There were some infractions, guys pushing and shoving, and then all of a sudden it did break up into something.
There's a rumor. One of the big houses just entered the bidding against us for Marcus Belfry's next book.
David and Goliath. Alan's with him now. Let's email her.
Done.
No, let's fax her.
Done.
No. You better page her.
Done. How about carrier pigeons?
And we're going to have a bunch of penalties coming up.
Hunter, 2 for high sticking, number 29.
And it'll all be even.
Joe Reiki, 2-minute minor, unsportsmanlike conduct. Reiki,
Hunter for high sticking.
Conduct.
Reiki
Number 3,
for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Unsportsmanlike.
And Cote for unsportsmanlike conduct. That's the capital side of it. Scrudland, Mellenby, and Huff all going off for the Panthers.
Well, either way, it's just still going to be 5-on-5.
Mellenby, a 2-minute minor for unsportsmanlike conduct. Mellenby, 2 for unsportsmanlike
Eagles will be facing off against Stu Barnes. Face off to the right of Van Beesbrook. 1-1 the score. Nearly 4 minutes have gone by here in this third period. 3:49 the time for the penalties. Johnson behind the net. Out to the middle. Willie and Laws, the two defensemen out there for the Panthers. Lee and Johnson, the back line for the Caps. Johnson can't keep it in. Better in line with the Eagles, Poulin and Miller for the Washington Capitals right now. And the shot is knocked in and is covered up as Van Beesbrook not taking any chances with Poulin close to the net.
Well, this is when the coaches have to make some decisions as far as shifting lines, putting people together, mixing and matching when you have 3 guys in the penalty box. So it'll be interesting to see how the lines kind of get juggled around and who is put out there with who. We've seen Florida throughout the game, different lines. He gives you one setup at the beginning, and the next time around, he changes people.
Niedermeyer, Belanger, and Hull come out for Florida. And for the Capitals, they're going with Konowalchuk and Jones. And Juneau is not the third man.
What you were saying, the line at the beginning of the game was Fitzgerald, Lindsay, and Niedermeyer. And now you have, as you mentioned, Niedermeyer out there with Hull.
And the Caps don't have their regular. Berube is the other man. There's a slap shot by Johansson. Wide of the net. Down is Van Beesbrook. And the puck goes out and it's clear. Niedermeyer now on the break. Johansson is back. Niedermeyer fires and is wide. Niedermeyer with a chance there. He had Belanger going on the other side. Konowalczyk clears it. So Niedermeyer with a chance.
I think on that shot that Niedermeyer took, Carey just got a piece of it with his skate. That was a nice shot by Niedermeyer, low along the ice. And I think Carey just got a piece of it.
Here's Niedermeyer again. Niedermeyer behind now to Belanger, and it's knocked away nicely by Ulanov. Now here is Pavanka. Leaves it behind Kalle Johansson. Here's Bondra. Centers it, and it's knocked away, and a fine defensive play made that time by Fitzgerald. And he had Berube bearing down in the slot. Here's Pavanka feeding. Flea knocks it into the zone. Magnus Svensson off the glass. 1-1 the score. 14:15 remaining third period. Pavanka again with Magnus Svensson defending. And there's a centering pass to Bondra. And fine play by Barnes. Tough scoring line out now for the Caps. Trying to make something happen here in a 1-1 game. We were scoreless after one. Each team scored a goal in the second period. Kristin still with the puck. Capitals will have changed, and Bondra's off as Miller has come on along with Hunter. Rangers still lead 2-0, by the way, Mike, with 15 to go in that game against Philadelphia.
That's the first time we've really seen that line of Pavanka, Bondra, and Kristin generate any offense. They seem to have some good scoring chances right there. Van Beesbroek with a couple of nice saves. Also, twice we've seen shots go beyond Van Beesbroek, hit those boards, and come right out real quick. A couple of scoring chances just by the shot going wide, and then the rebound coming off the boards. Lively boards here. It comes right out front. Van Beesbroek had to hustle to make the saves.
New lines come out, and Gaetan Duchesne, who hasn't seen much action, has come out. Duchesne hasn't been out there on a regular line. Johan Garpenlov, and so the fourth line is out there now for the Florida Panthers, and that includes Belanger, who's the top scorer of that group. Belanger with 14 goals. Here is Duchesne, fans on the shot. Riki prone, defending on the play, and it's dumped in by Eagles as Miller rides Woolley into the glass behind the net. Out to center ice. Panthers trying to organize something there. Knocked down by Riki. Eagles in. And it's cleared by Van Beesbroek. Mellenby off the left wing, and offside to call as Strudlin goes offside. 1-1, still a timeout, 12:49 on the clock.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer.
This really is nice. But when I was Mommy and Daddy to Florida to see my grandma, we flew on an airplane that had hamburgers, milk, and cookies. That's the kind of food. You eat food? Well, mostly for kids, I think. But the people on the plane were very, very, very nice and gave me a puzzle book and silver little wings to wear on my sweater. I like the wings. You have puzzle books? And one there made my daddy laugh really, really loud. My daddy likes laughing. And we watched the movie, took naps, and talked. And it was really, really fun. My daddy's like this all the time. They're his favorite. He says they're different from the other ones because the people don't just work there. They own it. He says you can tell. Do you own this airplane? Or do you just work here? My daddy flies in so much he gets to fly for free sometimes.
Well, you can't get your hands caught in the cookie jar. You're in the popcorn box here at the Miami Arena.
Is that a new seat now, the aisle?
That's right, the aisle. From aisle 1, seat 1. That youngster having a blast and getting his fill of popcorn as well. 1-1 the score, being treated to a game between a desperate team trying to get in the playoffs and one that has for the 13th consecutive year. Panthers trying to make it for the first time, only 2 years of existence, and the Capitals' 13 straight years in postseason. Aikens behind the net. In a great duel of goaltenders today, Van Beesbrook has had to make the tougher save, and a goal scored by Jones. And that's his second of the ball game. Jones behind the net. So both Washington goals have been sort of the silent, unspectacular type.
And Steve Konowalchuk does a nice job of getting the puck to Jones. Jones got away from his man, number 18, Mike Huff. Watch it right here. Watch Jones coming off the boards. And a nice play by Konowalchuk finding him. But I'll tell you, the goal is scored because when Jones was on the boards, Huff didn't stay with him. Huff let him come off the boards and get open in front. And as I said, Konowalchuk does a nice job of finding him. You see him right there in front all alone. That's because he got away from that man, number 18. Mike Huff. Nice play by Konowalchuk to get the puck to Jones.
So Jones with his second goal and his 14th of the season. Second goal of the game. Jones had the game winner against Buffalo on Friday night. He could have the game winner today. And a big stake perhaps in the heart of the Panthers here. 2-1 the score in favor of the Capitals. Time of the goal was 7:36. Konowalchuk gets the assist on the goal by Keith Jones. Konowalchuk's 14th assist of the year. 2-1 the score. Just under 12 minutes remaining in the third period. And the Caps look like they want some more. Kristich in front of the net. Now Kristich behind. Jeff Smith defending. Smith clears it out. And here is Bill Lindsay. Lindsay knew he had no shot. Passes it back to Barnes. Barnes keeps it in. Barnes with a wrist shot blocked by Kelly Miller. Barnes again. Another shot deflected. And Miller this time clears it. Laws can't get it out. Bondra. Now it's Woolley. Woolley trying to split the defense, and Hunter with a check. Poke check back. Laws on his heels. Deflected. Niedermeyer. And it's out to center zone again. 2-1 the score. The Capitals lead. Here's Belanger. Off the skate of Cote. Hunter to Ricci, who clears it behind the boards where Van Beersbrook saves it over to Laws. Here's Belanger. Dumps it into the left side. Niedermeyer and Ulanov, twin 44s going after it. Mellenby keeps it in. Here's Niedermeyer behind the net. Belanger. Belanger trying to center it. Going in front. Here's Mellenby trying to backhand it. Can't. Good defense that time by Poulin. And a shot on goal. And Ulanov blocks it. Here's Mellenby. And a wrist shot that time by Belanger. Not much steam on it.
That's a good job by the Washington Capitals keeping the puck out of the shooting area. Credit their defense doing a nice job.
Glove by Van Beesbrook. Under 10 minutes remaining. Third period. 2-1 Washington. Changing on the fly. Strudlin now on the ice. With his line, Mellenby stays on with Huff. Strudlin, Mellenby, and Huff for the Florida Panthers. Babanka, Kristich, and Bondra for Washington.
When we listen to Jim Schonfeld talk about how he wants his team to play.
Huff with a shot. Pad save by Carey.
That's exactly what he wanted. He wants his people on him right all the time. Don't give them any room. You notice Florida has the puck a lot, but they have players on him constantly.
And they're clogging the middle. That's another thing he wanted to do. This time, here is Hull. Tries a backhander, and he's knocked down by Cleves. So the Caps doing the job, playing it exactly the way Jim Schonfeld would like. Wants to keep the momentum going. This team has won 4 out of 5. And Hull backhands it, and offside is the call with under 9 minutes remaining in the third period. The Caps lead by a goal.
Dodge changed the rules of truck power, the rules of safety, comfort, convenience. And while we were changing those rules, another one changed all by itself. New rule. Dodge pickups now have higher resale than Ford, Chevy, or GMC. Want proof? Check the rule book. The rules have changed. At America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
Okay, folks, when it comes to being right, nobody is more right than I am. I told you the country was going to move to the right. I was right. And when I predicted the outcome of the elections, bango, right again. But it's a burden being right all the time. You know what I mean? So for the first time ever, I'm actually going to do something wrong. I'm going to eat my pizza crust first.
Introducing stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. With a ring of cheese baked into a totally new, thinner crust, you'll want to eat it the wrong way. Crust first.
If I'm eating it this way, it must be right.
Large, just $9.99.
Super Bowl rivals Jerry Rice and Junior Seau meet again in a no-holds-barred celebrity competition. Steve Young hosts the Fox All-Star Challenge tonight.
I'll tell you, the deciding goal is scored for this reason right here. This man, Mike Huff, does not fend him off. This is Jones who's going to score the goal and come into the picture. He's got to get his body in front of him. He doesn't. He's going to come to the net and watch the pass by Connor Walchuk to him all alone. Huff has got to do a better job of pinning him against the boards.
So it's 2-1 in favor of Washington. Less than 3 minutes of this period have been played in the cap zone, so we're getting a reversal of what we saw, Mike, in the second period when the Panthers took the play to the Capitals.
And now the game falls back into the Capital style.
Cote with a slap shot in front is Miller and covered up nicely. Miller and Hunter were right around Van Beesbrook, who was alert to the task, and we'll have another face-off.
And from Washington's standpoint, this is a good game to play going into the playoffs. It's a tight checking game. It's a defensive game. You win the Stanley Cup with your defense. You're not going to see many 8-7, 7-6 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They're tight checking, close-scoring games, and this is a nice little preliminary game for them to play.
And a key face-off man for them, of course, Dale Hunter. He takes every big face-off down the stretch. In a one-goal game, he's done it here. Hunter controlling that one as well. Kudelski, who scored the lone goal today for the Florida Panthers, knocks it into the Washington zone, and we'll have icing call.
Now, at some point in this period, and I'm sure it's going to be very soon, Florida is going to have to abandon that defensive trapping style and just go after them and create some offense.
Like, how does a team that's not used to doing that all of a sudden go against the grain like that?
Well, it's not easy, especially if it's a team does not have the kind of offensive skill that you need in order to do that. But again, I'm sure there are times during the season that his team has had to do that. Maybe not abandon it totally as far as what they're going to have to do in this game, because this is a do-or-die situation for them.
Ricky with a shot off the stick of Van Beesbrook. Here comes Woolley on the left wing. Kudelski and Cote ties him up. Kudelski centering pass, and covering up is Carey, and Fitzgerald was right there, excuse me, and the save that time by Carey hasn't had to be tested much lately.
The same situation like the last goal. You see Kudelski in the corner, you have to pin him. If you don't pin him, he's going to be able to make that play, so nobody gets to Kudelski. I believe it was Cote, doesn't get to him and get against the boards on him. He gives him a position to get the puck out front.
Carey is tough to beat. He's tied for the fifth with the most wins in the league with 18, has lost 6, only 2 ties, and a 2.14 goals against average to lead the league, and only 3 shots by Florida in the last 13 minutes of this game, and that tells a big part of the story. Here is Poulin, and there's kind of Walchuk trying to get the pass, but it's deflected off. Jones, he's been the big hero offensively with 2 goals today for the Capitals. Poulin controlling in the corner. Poulin and Jones double teaming. Now it comes out. On the left wing is Duchesne. Centers, and here is a shot, the goal. Belanger with his 15th goal of the year. Open coming down the middle has tied the game at 2-2.
I'll tell you, Jesse Belanger showed some great speed and going to the net. He just absolutely pulled away from the Washington Capitals. Now, he's not the man with the puck. He's coming into the middle, and he just accelerates it. Watch this move. Right to his backhand. He had Carey going the other way. What a pretty goal and a setup. Watch it again. Belanger's coming in through the middle. Duchesne does a nice job of finding him, but watch how he goes to his backhand. Right there. Oh, boy, what a nice move that one was.
Great effort by Jesse Belanger, his 15th goal of the year. And a standing ovation, the crowd on his feet. Belanger with his 3rd goal this year against the Capitals. He had 2 goals in one game, including a power play goal, and that ties it up at 2-2.
Number 26, Jesse Belanger.
12:18, the time of the goal to tie it up.
Number 15,
Gaetan Duchesne gets an assist. Johan Garpenlov also the assist. So it's 2-2. Here is Strudlin on the left side, and Mellenby tied up by Klee, and a penalty coming up against the Capitals. Klee interfered with Mellenby, and a holding call will be called, and the
Son of a gun protectant. Nothing works better on your car's leather, vinyl, and rubber. It can turn just about anything into a great-looking car.
Nice car. What, just pile of junk?
Give it the gun. STP Son of a Gun. And now clean your toughest tasks with Citrus Scent Cleaner Degreaser.
And Ken Klee will go off 2 minutes for holding. That's Kristich in there. Kristich will get the penalty and not Klee. So a power play, and a very big one coming up here, Mike Eruzione, because this team needs a win, not a tie, and this is an opportunity with 7:05 to play.
Take a look at the holding in front of the net. You're going to watch it happen just at the bottom of the screen. Now, you thought it was going to be called on Klee, because I think Klee could have got a holding penalty, but it was Kristich at the top of the screen. He was the one that was that held also. There were 2 holding situations going on right there, Dick, but they called Kristich instead of Klee.
It was a K in any event.
That's right.
Jesse Belanger, who scored the tying goal moments ago out there, along with Mellenby. And a save on the short side. Garpenlov also on there now, and they are all over Carey now, trying to get the go-ahead goal.
And that's what they like to do. That's one thing that Mellenby does very, very well. He's a big kid, 6'1", 205 pounds. Now watch Mellenby. He goes right to the net, right in front, screen the goaltender, try to tip it. There's no way Carey, look at Carey's looking around. Where's the puck? He was fortunate he had it underneath him. But that's what Mellenby does. He goes to the net. He's a big body. Get that butt of his right in front of the goaltender and screen him.
This could be the most important power play situation of the year for the Florida Panthers. They need to win this game and the remaining 2 and hope they get help as well. But if they don't win, it won't mean a thing. A tie doesn't no good. And the clearing is Joe Ricci. 1 for 4. Only 3 shots for the Panthers on the power play today. 2-2 to score. Jesse Belanger trying to center it to Mellenby. Pass behind him. Konowalchuk knocked it away. Here is Belanger trying to get around Cote, who checks him against the glass. Woolley keeps it for Murphy. Miller all over him, and again, good aggressive defense by the Caps. Here is Mellenby. Shot, glove, and held there by Carey.
And that's what I think Murphy should have done earlier. Murphy had the puck on the point. Instead of holding on to it, get the puck in deep. You don't want to be playing with the puck in the blue line area, especially in the offensive end. Get the puck down into the zone and try to set up from there. If you keep the puck down along the boards and keep it deep, you can't get hurt as far as giving up a play. If I'm a defenseman and I have the puck on the blue line, the last thing I want to be doing is holding it there, because I'm going to give the other team an opportunity to intercept the puck and have a break themselves and a good scoring chance. Don't be playing with the puck 5 feet inside that blue line. That's danger zone. The other team has a chance to take it away and go in and score. All your players are caught in the zone trying to get position. You can't be hanging them out there with the puck.
Strudlin on the face-off with Barnes and Kudelski. Kudelski with one of the 2 goals for the Panthers. Magnus Svensson and Jason Woolley, the defenseman on the point right now. And Svensson will keep it in. Johnson deflects it into the crowd. 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining on the penalty to Kristich of the Capitals.
Also, Dick, you're in a situation here with 6 minutes left to go. Throw the puck at the net. Something can happen, a deflection, anything. You need a goal. You're not going to get it if you don't shoot it.
It'll be Eagles facing off with Skrudland. And it's controlled by the Panthers. Woolley, and Eagles clears it to the other end. Under a minute to go in the penalty. Panthers with a power play opportunity, 1 for 4 today. That one, of course, was the big one that moved them in front 1-0 in the second period. Trying to counter here and take the lead, which they sorely need to keep their playoff hopes alive. Shot by Woolley around the net. Kudelski trying to keep it in, and he loses his stick. Broken stick for Kudelski. Woolley again behind. Johnson can't clear it, and Poulin finally does. Dumped in. Chasing it is Stu Barnes. He falls down. This is where the Panthers need some aggression and some good scorers on this kind of a play. Centered in front to Skrudland, and there's a shot. Skrudland gets a piece of it, and it's covered up by Carey on the shot by Murphy. So Skrudland had a big opportunity in front of Jim Carey.
And I'll tell you, what a nice play Skrudland made, getting the puck back to Murphy. Watch this play by Skrudland. He knows he has no chance himself, so he bangs it back to the middle to Murphy. Murphy shoots it. Now watch Skrudland go to the net for the screen, and he almost deflects it in. Nice save by Carey, but a smart heads-up play by Skrudland, getting the puck back to Murphy, and then having the presence of mind to go to the net to try to pick up a rebound or a tip.
Skrudland, a fan favorite, one of those pesky types that marks this Florida Panther team. They now have Niedermeyer out with Lindsay and Tom Fitzgerald, who will take the face-off, with Pavanka, Peter Bondra as well out there. 4 seconds left in the power play, so this is a big face-off. Gord Murphy will fire a shot, and it's stopped point blank by Carey as the penalty ends to Kristich.
And a nice save by Carey, and another nice job by the Washington Capitals defense, keeping Florida players away from Carey so that when he makes the save, there's no rebound. He can cover it if there is one. Also, he can see the shot that time. There's nobody screening him.
They had 3 shots, did the Panthers, on that power play, as much as they've gotten on the previous 3 power plays today. 5:04 remaining in the third period. We're tied at 2. Fitzgerald and Pavanka on the face-off. So they've got the Caps, their top line, with Kristich and the Bondra. Here is, in front of the net, Barnes misses. Smith backhands one, and it's gloved by Carey with Lindsay all over him. So the Panthers, with a lot of steam in the last couple of minutes, still 2-2.
Come on along and head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer.
The people you see here are not frustrated with their string trimmers. This is what they have to do to make them work. At last, a string trimmer with a button that lets you feed more line without bumping. The Groom & Edge Plus from Black & Decker.
Do you know how much sprinkles you got? Well, from this can, then you spot. Fill a bowl from a Pringles can. Got as much as this bag. Amazing, man. Can you believe how much sprinkles you got? So pop, the Pringles don't stop. Get the great taste you want, not the greasy mess this bag got. Pringles, once you pop, so much more than you ever thought. You can't stop.
Next week on Fox NHL Sunday, the quest for the Stanley Cup begins live at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. And the great action in sports, the National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoffs, and the drama begins next Sunday with the NHL on Fox. And Roger Nielsen, who missed the playoffs with his Panthers in their first year. That was a pretty successful franchise by 1 point. They set records for the most points for a first-year team at 74, and challenging again where a lot of people didn't think they would. On the face-off, Cote has it behind. Duchesne trying to center it, and Jones out to neutral zone. 14,703, the paid attendance today here at the Miami Arena in the final home game of the year for the Panthers. 4.5 minutes remaining in the third period. Here's Cote, back to Riki. Hunter, Berube, and Jones up there now. And shot from the right side by Belanger. Duchesne in the corner, goes down. And a whistle with 4:11 on the clock. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Hockey League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this telecast, including the imposition of a charge for viewing the telecast without the express written consent of the National Hockey League, is prohibited. Who will the Caps be playing in the playoffs next week? They know they're going to be in it. It's their 13th consecutive year, and that is the 5th longest string of consecutive playoff appearances in the NHL. Rangers, meanwhile, lead 2-0 with 2.5 minutes to play. A win for them will knock out the Panthers and clinch a playoff berth for the Rangers. Shot by Smith behind the net. 4 minutes remaining, third period. Smith keeps it in. Povanka has Bondra. Bondra with that great speed, and he misses the shot. He had Smith all over him. Very close, though. Very tough in that situation.
Oh, what a nice play by Bondra, ducking under Smith and getting the shot off.
Bondra had one solid shot on goal today. It was a point-blank shot, and Van Beesbrook was equal to the task.
You really want a cellular phone, but you're afraid of the service plans, activation, the true cost. So you go back and forth again. Don't do that. Come into Radio Shack. We'll patiently explain everything you need to know about going cellular. And we can even sign you up. You'll see that not only are cellular phones nothing to be afraid of, they're actually quite friendly. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Peter Bondra, who has scored a goal in 16 of his last 19 games, but so far empty today. Scored his 32nd goal in their last game, and Jim Carey hit 1 goal, and John Van Beesbrook. That call upon him makes some big saves today, including one on Bondra.
And he made a nice play right there with Bondra cutting in on him. Again, he doesn't commit himself, and Bondra has to commit himself first. And that's what a goaltender wants. And again, the evidence of it that time, Bondra cuts in. Van Beesbrook does a nice job of holding his ground and doesn't give him anything to shoot at. That's the veteran goaltender. You know, he bides his time, he waits, and he's got great patience, great poise, where normally some of those young goaltenders will make the move for us, and that's what the shooter wants, but not Van Beesbrook. Great patience.
2-2 to score. Stu Barnes around to Lindsay. Up ahead to Fitzgerald. And Barnes trying to get there, but it's Eagles first, and Eagles is hit hard by Fitzgerald. Panthers have to generate something here. Tie won't do them any good. And Lindsay runs into Johnson. And we're going to have a penalty called with 2:53 remaining in the third. And it's going to be on Johnson.
Give me on Johnson. Lindsay with a nice shift. Caught Johnson going one way. Take a look at it here. Watch this shift back the other way. And Johnson, I don't know if an elbow or a high stick, and got his elbow in.
Yep.
Fist right up there on Lindsay. But the reason it happened was because of the nice shift that Lindsay made. You saw Johnson going one way. Lindsay cut back the other. And the only way Johnson could stop him was to get his elbow up.
So a 2-minute penalty for elbowing for Jim Johnson. That's the second time he's gone off today. First time early in the second period for cross-checking, and the Panthers scored a power play goal at the time to take a 1-0 lead. A power play goal right here would give them the lead in the waning moments of this game. So let's see who comes out for the Panthers. It'll be Brian Strudlin, Jody Hull, and Scott Mellenby for Roger Nielsen's crew. Now or never time for the Panthers. They may not even know the Rangers are leading 2-0 in the final moments of their game.
Oh, they're concerned. I think, you know, winning this game here. It's their last game at home. Show something for their fans. They've got the right players out in the ice. Their best face-off man in Strudlin. Their power play man in front of the net, Mellenby.
Strudlin on the face-off, and the Rangers have beaten the Flyers 2-0. So right now, it's a moot point. But the Panthers want to end up on a high note at home. They will not get in the playoffs. The Rangers have clinched the final playoff berth in the Eastern Conference. Murphy with a wrist shot, stopped by Ricci. And Murphy going back. On a Walchuk, gets the puck away and nearly on a wraparound scored a goal. And it was stopped by Van Beesbrook. Short-handed situation.
Well, that's why they're dangerous. You know, you have a tendency a lot when you're on the power play to forget about defense. And they'll lull you to sleep. Next thing you know, bang, it's in the net.
Caps are second in the NHL behind the Buffalo Sabres in shorthanded goals this year with 12. Minute 15 on the penalty to Johnson. Out to Woolley. Now Mellenby. Hull. And it's out of the zone as Miller does a good job.
Boy, if they had some time to look up, the middle defenseman is wide open. When the puck's in the corner, get the puck out to the middle defenseman. There's nobody on him.
Mellenby loses the puck. Good defense this time. Here is Strudlin with a shot off the pads and another miss. Strudlin missed, and so did Garpenlov on a shot to carry handle. Now Poulin has the puck on a shorthanded situation, and he goes down, but a penalty will be called, and once again the Caps nearly scored on a shorthanded situation, and that will even things up with 1:28 to go.
Now the wily veteran Dave Poulin sneaks in behind, creates not only a scoring chance, but is able to draw the penalty at the same time. Watch Dave Poulin now, fooling you with his speed a little, gets a good chance to come in, and then he gets hauled down right there. Good call by the official.
Magnus Svensson.
And a good play by Swenson. No, that was a penalty. Sorry. Actually made a nice play. If he doesn't haul him down, Dave Poulin's going to have himself a pretty good scoring chance.
Hooking is the call at 18:32. So there are 35 seconds left in Johnson's penalty. And then the Washington Capitals will have an advantage for 1 minute and 25 seconds. Well, we have 1:28 remaining in this period, and possibly heading for overtime.
And, you know, we talked about those things will drive coaches crazy. You know, on the power play, it's a close game. You have a chance to score late in the game, maybe win the game through the power play, and then you take a penalty, and now it negates everything.
Face off to the right of Van Beesbrook. Behind the net, out to Stu Barnes. Klee got a skate on it and knocked it into the zone. Jones, who has 2 goals today, chasing it down. He's got Eagles with him. Now here come the Panthers. Barnes trying to get around Klee. Under a minute to go in the 3rd period. Puck is still loose behind. And it's Lindsay, scrappy Lindsay, still fighting for it. Kalle Johansson tries to tie him up. Now Johansson is a lot bigger, gets the puck out. 1 minute and 12 seconds on the power play as Johnson comes out of the penalty box, and an edge now for the Capitals. Kristich with a shot, and Murphy will clear it down ice. Both teams changing on the fly with that much time remaining on the lower right hand of your screen. 50 seconds on the power play. 16 seconds to go. Bondry's out on the ice for the Washington Caps. 11 seconds to go with the power play, trying to win this one. Here's Joey Juneau. Juneau at the point. Over to Cote. Cote shot, and a fine save by Van Beesbrook with less than 2 seconds to go.
Again, we talk about how important it is for the goaltender to not have anybody in front screening him. Anytime a defenseman's going to shoot the puck from the point, if I'm a goaltender and I can see it, you're not going to score on me. Here's a look at it here. Juneau does a nice job of getting it across.